Hello, everyone, and welcome to another DC related stream. Guess what we're talking, y'all? Guess what we're going to be talking about? Yep, a new episode of Peacemaker has dropped, and man, oh man, is Chris in the deepest of shits yet. But I'm not going to do this alone. Have with me Brent.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Good.
All right. Folks, if you don't know, every week we talk about the newest episode of Peacemaker Season 2, and we do dive into spoilers. So if you have not seen the episode, go watch the episode, come back and hang out with us. There's lots and lots to talk about. And I'm you know what's weird that and again, I think I'm okay with saying this, but for people who don't know, some people cover the show for media outlets besides just being a fan. And now, from what I've been hearing across the board, including me, who was covering it for media outlet, pretty much the public and press are now all together caught up. So we've seen as much as y'all have seen, and we said episodes left.
Episode 5, yeah.
And the way this episode starts to the way it ends, is already leading up to a lot of questions of where are these characters going to go, and what does this mean onward? I don't know. I'm very, very intrigued to see how that plays out. Hey, Busy. How you doing, man? If you want to come talk with us, just let me know, and I'll send you a link. Let's see. Hero's Journey. We got Keely Match saying what I missed. Not much, man. We just started. First fight was the only thing sent out, which is dope. Yep. So I'm very interested to see how the next few weeks are going to be being put out. This episode was crazy. We'll get into it. Brent, let me know your immediate thoughts because I haven't talked to you about it yet. How did you feel about this week's episode?
Well, just to recap, because last week I wasn't able to jump in on the stream, but I've enjoyed this whole series so far. These 5 episodes have been quite just really great setup and interesting depth. This week's, element of the characters was all, when you consider the fact it was a little bit about sacrifice. Every character had to make some kind of a small sacrifice to basically further their journey along the way. Eagle had to create a sacrifice. Chris had to create a sacrifice when he ended up by approaching Amelia. You had Judo Master making a sacrifice when he went through the portal. You had all these different characters make certain sacrifices along the way. And it's kind of, it's been interesting how the structure has been playing with this show for sure. I'm just trying to think. The portal stuff from last week, because we got to see how that worked. I think it was fantastic as well. Again, it's I don't know, I'm delving a little bit to last week, but I love that idea. But I am also now questioning whether or not whether this is boom tube technology of some form or another. I feel like there's a deeper meaning on everything. You've got the whole element of Eagle, who became the epitome of the vision that Rook's character last week. What's his name? Red.
Red Line or something like that.
Yeah. You that he was connected to as well. So is that magic on Rooker's part? Rooker, spoilers once again, he seems to die in this episode. But I say seemingly because we just don't know. We're dealing with magic on a certain level. Is Eagle something bigger? Is Eagle connected with the new gods? These questions rush into my head with all these elements of, is there a way of creating this brand new world that James Gunn's created? Give us something new, which is obviously, why copy something directly? Give us stuff that is fresh and new, that is twisted a little bit. And I do enjoy seeing that stuff develop, and not just as this story goes on, but future incarnations of other shows, because it seems like they're not afraid to cross over stuff subtly, that it's not important to the next story, but enough that it is important to what is in the moment of that particular story. I guess
Oh
is the
yeah,
best way to put it.
fearlessness, no fear,
Yeah.
like at all. Yeah, Jeffrey said it was red, saying, "Wow, yeah."
Mhm.
Hello, you beautiful people. Hello, Darren. As soon as you're free, man, just let me know. I'll send you the link. I'll send it to you right away. Just let me know via DMs. Darren, how we doing, Jeffrey? Yeah, I really did this episode, but still, it's not my least favorite episode of the season thus far. It's my second least favorite episode
Really.
of thus far because the first three had this big momentum going into it. But
Mhm.
I love that a lot of stuff was just now out in the open emotionally
Yes. Mhm.
between Ilya and
Yeah.
Chris, or between
Mhm.
Chris and Rick, between the
Yeah.
dynamic Chris and the 11th Street Kids. Where that now. I adore John Economos and Emilia's
Yeah.
interaction
Mhm.
so deeply. It was just like, oh, those just as much as the action and the cool DC related stuff. Those personal moments are what makes me come back to this group of individuals. It
Yeah.
makes me remember why I love them as a group and as individuals in the first
Mhm.
season.
Yeah.
Which to mess with Talaria, who I don't know, I think who said it? I think Jeffrey asked. No, Talaria. Darren, hopefully he's on his way, but Talaria, I don't know where he's at. I messaged him. I'll check with him again in a few minutes, see if he's okay. But like Talaria had not seen season 1, and he got into season 2, and he was digging it as far as I know. So it's fascinating to see how much even on
Mm.
a first run this season thus far is hitting for audiences.
Mm.
It is
Yes.
connected with these characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go through some of the comments down here. So, Bathhound, the prime dog, what I missed. So, do you feel bad for Animal Facts? Guy, Peacemaker mentioned everyone but him in the letter. If you mean Vigilante, I think it's what's weird with Vigilante this season. He's been kind of sideline, I would say, like the least
Mm.
out of all the Lemon Street kids. He's the least one that's like gotten stuff to do.
But emotionally, we're getting a lot of his emotional side in
Yes,
this
that last,
season.
yes,
You know,
yeah,
he's obviously got a massive crush on Peacemaker on Chris, and it's like it's this weird little. It's not a love triangle, but it's certainly a one perspective love triangle of himself and Chris and Peacemaker. I think there's this weird thing with all that, but
yeah,
at the same time, it's like I've got to say, going into the future, if we are going into next week and we end up in a world that is all, if this is Earth X, for example, and it
mhm,
was a Nazi-driven world that the white race became the dominant race, then people like him, people like Leota, people like even uh, Judo Master who jumped through the portal, they are all people of differences, and I think that's going to affect massively,
rock the boat, yeah,
and how they're treated the moment they step in this world. And
yeah,
I'm scared for their characters. These are characters that could die in this universe. James Gunn, I think, wouldn't have any fear about killing a character off.
he said that, yeah, that has
Yeah,
to matter, yeah,
yeah, and it has to mean something, and it also has to be like this character dies, they are permanently dead.
yeah,
Um, and so I kind of feel like there is a situation that must happen for events to take place to get Peacemaker obviously to come back to our world, and
right,
well, his world, I should say, and
the
all
dimension,
that.
yeah.
So yeah. So
Yeah, I think so. Here, Junior says, "Is Rubber Lady a spy sent by Lex?" So no. Here's the thing. So
yeah, I feel like
we
she's a spy
finally
of some
get.
sort.
So I'll be really heartbroken if that's the case. But
Mm,
we finally get Sasha Bordeaux's
yeah,
cybernetic side to her, which is from the comics, which is it's one of the things
I
that like
had no
and I
clue.
love.
I had zero
Yeah.
clue. I
Oh,
was
I
like,
love it.
what? Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah,
But yeah, like that was cool to see her in
mhm,
that realm. See her be like, go like for a second, be like, I have a shot. Do you want me to take it?
yeah,
And but again, we get to that point because we see how Chris gets the warning sign by Amelia to like
mhm,
fuck off, and he's willing to risk it because how much he cares about her and be like,
yeah,
please tell me. Did I mean anything at all, or just a one night stand? Like, make me know if I'm risking everything that it's gonna be worth it, or was it just a spark at the moment?
Yeah.
And it just lies to her face, just like, no, I didn't care about it. And it's like, yes, you did, but you're in an emotional conundrum where you're at right now. Just like, dude, if you only knew stuff before you two met, what she was going through, what she had to cope, and even now with what the repercussions that Waller has on her and her career, it just madness. How did you feel about that open? Because also, I rewatched it again.
Yeah,
seeing Peacemaker play soccer in those tight pants with that's amazing imagery. I think I ever needed to see it. That's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
But how did you feel about that whole interaction at the beginning, where it leads to Chris's capture and takedown by Amelia?
I liked it. Obviously, she was trying to protect him away at all costs. Straight back from the text itself, saying, "Don't come. This is a trap."
Yeah.
And he went anyway. So I like the fact that she was doing everything in her power to protect him. So at that moment in time, she wasn't at liberty to express any of her true feelings. We kind of get the meaning of the hidden agenda and all that. We know it's there. We know there's a romantic tie to them. But I really do. I like the approach that he took. And it shows that Peacemaker is not just the guy about the mask. It does show now that he has got tactic and range about trying to infiltrate into a place. And I don't think we've really seen that from Chris before, as to that level. I could be wrong. I got to go think back about the movie again and how he approached things. But you saw the level of tactness. It wasn't just a matter of joking around. He was purposefully, pulled, what's his name? What's his name? What did he call him? I forgot his name.
He's from She-Hulk. I just don't know that. He's from She-Hulk.
Really? Okay. But he pulled him, put him on the shoulders and used him as a shield to stop anybody from hitting him with, or at least stop Judo Master from taking a shot at him and stuff like that. So, I feel like that romantic relationship could spark in the future. It's what it's what Chris is looking for, obviously, and I think that will happen. And I don't like getting too kind of like, oh, it's all about love stories and all this, but it's they both need each other. Genuinely need each other to balance each other off. They need to come home at the end of a day's work and just be there for each other. And those signs are there. So it's going to be kind of fun to see that, eventually come through. And I think it's going to take Chris, the other world that he's in, with that version of Amelia, to realize how much of a bitch that version is going to be.
Potentially, yeah. Like,
I'm guessing.
Yeah, pure assumption. Yeah. Speaking of assumption, I think we're gonna go back to the comments, see what everybody's looking at. Thank you so much for coming down. Please keep it going. Please telling us your thoughts, theories, takes on this episode. Jeffrey says he's dying next week. I'm calling it. I hate to say it, but it's going to happen. I think he's referring to Vigilante.
Vigilante?
Which, if they do that, that's a bold move. But like he's been saying, even at the end, like imagine I have a variant in that other dimension. It's like, if there's another Vigilante, if there's another Adrian over there, what is that looking like in comparison to the one we have?
I like this Vigilante. I think he's cool. So I don't know what another version would be like.
Yeah. I think Cameron Walker says, hi, Cameron, that in the newest episode of Peacemaker podcast, James Gunn said Michael Rooker is going to play another character down the line in the DC. Well, he's already, I'm pretty sure that's inevitable. Yeah, I think Michael played Savant in the Suicide Squad, and then he played I forget his character's name, but it was in Commandos, who was the one who nurtured G.I. Roa back to life. Well, he ended up turning to be a neo-Nazi. And then I think he voices one of the robots in Superman. So this is inevitable in my opinion.
And they're not going to, and I don't think he's going to shy away from the fact that it's Michael Rooker coming back to play that's a different character over and over
Character.
again. It'll be a running gag, but it'll be a running gag with a payoff, I feel, somewhere down the line. Hopefully, yeah.
I forgot about her being a cyborg until they showed it's a different backstory than from the comics. Okay, if that's the case, in terms of like how she became a cyborg, okay, then that's fair again. But yeah, like again, shout out to Sol Rodriguez, Sasha Bordeaux with the cybernetic eye. That is just awesome. And
okay, so let's just go on a whim here, and I forgot her name from Superman, the
engineer.
The engineer. I'm wondering if this is all connected somehow, and which does tie back to Lex, obviously. But I'm wondering if the engineer cyborg, this version of cyborg, obviously, some point down the line we might get an actual cyborg from the Teen Titans. I'm hoping, but the idea of the cybernetics and that sort of stuff seems to be merging through, based around the fact the engineer exists, in my opinion. So I'm wondering, after seeing this episode, whether there is, there's a little cyborg thing going on that, is a little cyborg factory, I guess, is the best way to put it. I don't know.
We've heard that there might have been a Teen Titans film in development, so like that's not.
There's a secret movie. There's a secret movie that they're or show or something that they're in development. That they're preparing to shoot very soon, next month apparently.
It's just kind of ironic that that's a second Latina who's playing a cyborg in the DC universe. But I love it. And speaking of love, with Sasha Bordeaux, we'll get to that later because I'm like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? But Chris unfortunately gets taken down by Emilia to save his own skin, and Rick Flag Sr. caught a big fish, and now this leads back to him in custody with him. And man, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for it, and I've been dreading it because I care for both characters and I see their points of views. Completely. And for those who don't want to refer to, I'm referring to the beatdown between Rick Flag Sr. and Christopher Smith. I love this fight scene. Kudos to the stunt team who put time to do it. There's a couple of hits. I'm like, was that an actual hit, or did they just shot well enough that made me believe, like, oh my gosh, they just needed the face, or they got stepped on by the wall. It's so fascinating because the whole time I kept saying, Senior, I get it, but this isn't gonna bring back your son back, and like the look on John Cena's face. This dude just to guilt. He knew. I think it was almost inevitable. He knew this day was gonna happen, and the fact that he's not fighting back, the fact that he's just like I know I'm sorry doesn't mean anything to you, and like I'm blaming for you, so that like I did respect your son, and just I was in a bad headspace. Father was so good. How did you feel with that fight team? Because I felt like he got lucky that like John ran him up, and like, I didn't even see it in Rick Flag's face. Just like, oh god damn it! Here, all right, take him away.
Yeah, Ronan, your camera is lagging on my end. I'm hoping it's not my end, but you have a little lag going on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nope. You're good now.
Okay.
Yeah. You just as you were talking, it just it went a little weird.
Okay.
That's cool. But yes, I can understand enough what you're saying. Yeah. Rick Flag. Yeah.
How did you feel about that fight scene?
I thought it was great. I mean, it was the fight scene that we were expecting and all that. But also this goes back to the opening credits, the dance of the opening credit. I'm trying to figure out now whether that fight scene is representation, because there's this moment where they both drop to the floor. It's just Chris and Flag drop to the floor as if it's like a fight scene, or whether that in that particular moment is a we've made up and joined forces scene. There's just two ways you could take that moment in the opening dance, in my opinion. So I don't know, because it happens towards the end of the piece. I'm kind of heading, because they all pile on top of each other at that moment. That's at the end. So I'm wondering whether this is something that's not connected to that, and that the whole coming together at the end and piling on top of each other is joining forces.
A lead up.
A
Yeah.
lead up, yeah. So it's either that or it is the fight scene, or it's both. It's hard to interpret that at this point in time. The actual physical fighting element of it, yeah, it was it was John Cena able to give show his skills off in such a way that I was never a wrestling fan. I never really followed any of the wrestling stuff. I never really followed any of his work directly as a wrestler. But at the same time, it looked good. It was good. As for Rick Flag himself, I think I forgot the actor's name, but he's great.
Frank Grillo.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and he's just showing the general sincerity of a father who's lost his son, and who's in a position. I don't think he gives a shit. Pardon my French. Doesn't give a shit about being in charge of Argus at all. He's there just to find his son's killer, and do what he did and understand why. So I'm curious to see how that remedy heals itself, or if it ever does.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a very good tactic to have them meet at this point in time in the story.
Yeah.
Because it also would play down the track, if there is a season 3, and I can only assume there will be more storytelling on that and how that can be remedied, and give it time to remedy between those characters and see if they either work together at some point or not. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of great lines in this one about that boy was a better man than you could ever be, better man than I could ever be, and then the notion of and we'll move into it a little later, but about how oh, that was just me making a chess move on the board. I want him to think I'm all out for revenge, but I gotta stop that whole dimensional BS that he's been messing around with in his closet. And it's the whole time we've been watching this show. I've been like, is it one or the other, or is it a bit of both? Because I can't blame him for still wanting blood. But why did he besides the president telling him we need you to be on the job, it's like you could have just said no. Why did you feel compelled to do this, especially after what you've gone through in Commandos and what you saw go down in Superman? I'm interested to see how that goes. And again, if at one point these two have to work together, man, oh man, I can't wait for that first exchange going down. Just okay, they both know that this has to happen. It's just how awkward as hell it's gonna have to be. Speaking of awkward, Steve Agee has been on a run right now these past episodes of standing up for himself and letting people know how he feels. Him poking at Mila and be like, "What did you do?" And her being like, "Are you poking at me?" And be like, "Why the hell did we get him back?"
He's growing a spine because he kind of said he's the one without the spine, but he's growing the spine.
Happy, because he keeps saying I'm a giant pussy.
It's growth. Good character growth in a character.
Yes. I'm so happy for Steve Agee about that. I adore that exchange.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I again much like this, and again we're hoping we get a season 3. But if for some odd reason a season 3 isn't in the cards, please don't kill off these characters just for the sake of it, for dramatic sense or for shock value.
I would hope
they
not.
are too rich of characters to not see them pop up here and there in other stories. Again, have to be main characters, but just something that lets you know oh yeah, this is all connected. But if you don't know who these people are, you can get a little taste out of them and through other projects. So I just want to give a shout out to Steve Agee and Emila and Jennifer Holland, who again, another person that I think dare I say this season thus far, she's been the MVP this whole season of her what she's dealing with, the fact that they're dealing with the whole toxic masculinity and how it's not just the one gender exclusive thing, that it can happen to anybody on any side of any gender realm or non-gender realm. And just man again, I think I went back and revisited when Flag visited her and how much probably either guilt, imbalance, fear, sadness is just going through her brain of I just want my life to work and then after that, after I have a hand on the steering wheels, then I can manage everybody else's problems and their dynamics with me. And and again, I love how that's affecting people like John this season thus far. It's one of the been the strongest things of the season. That's been, in my opinion, a plus from season one. Of just like, wow, the amount of stuff. And again, there's the bits here and there. There's the stuff between Judo and Tim Meadows' character, but like the fact that the level of humanity these characters now have, after knowing each other and how they're trying to deal with their own personal stakes and the dynamics as a found family, found friends. It's just adorable. And like again, don't cut it out this far. The universe has just started. We're 3 projects in.
Oh, sure.
Don't cash in your chips just yet. I think.
I agree.
I think we have a couple more comments down saying, let's see, I forgot about her being a cyborg from then. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a big character. Cameron, no problem. Ronan, love commenting, giving my thoughts, and hear everybody else's thoughts. Thank you, man. Thank you. Her being a cyborg has more to do with Brother I and Bruce Wayne. Interesting in the comics.
Oh, the comics. Okay.
Yeah. Imagine
I know nothing about her character, so in the comic book realm.
Imagine if he steps down and Economos becomes director. If John Economos becomes director of Argus,
it'd be awesome.
I listen, at this point, if either John or Amelia start running the show, I would be like, although I'm
going to throw my chips. I'm going to throw my chips out there. I get a feeling that Waller is going to become in charge of Argus at the end of season 2 again. Don't know why, don't know how. Just a feeling that somehow she's going to worm her way back in, and that could create that connection between, Peacemaker and Rick Flag at that point. Maybe not. I don't know. I just feel like you need something to spice up that world a bit more again. But who knows? Maybe it won't happen. I just feel like she's got enough pull with things that, at least in the cartoons and the comics, and she worms her way back up to the top again very quickly. I feel like she's going to be
out of the realm of possibility. Yeah.
That's my guess. That's my prediction. Early predictions. So
I with her, it's like even though she's been out of the main game, I have a feeling she's just waiting. She's in a cell somewhere, just waiting for the right opportunity to make a move. And again, consider that there's 3 episodes left. Who knows if we might see Viola Davis in a shot or in the frame of this season, because we did see her in season 1. So that would not be out of the realm. James said that wait until the end of season 2, then we'll know if we're getting a season 3. Jeffrey likes your theory. Maybe it never counter out like Nick Fury. Yeah, exactly. That even when they're not in the main game, they still have a hand on what's going down and how it's going to affect stuff going forward with this universe and with these characters, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we got another guy coming in. We got Taladia Plays. Hey, Taladia.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
How
you doing?
I'm
man?
good. I'm good, man. I'm good. So Peacemaker, what an episode, man. Today.
How did you feel about it? What are your immediate thoughts after watching this recent episode?
I gotta be honest with you. I was just like, it was better than last week's episode. I felt that I definitely felt for Freddy Stromer, Vigilante,
Adrian.
You got to feel for him because the way things were going, it was going south in any case. And Chris Smith, who was like, "Nah, I'm done. I'm done with this universe. I'm not getting my way. And you, I got set up. Like, which, if you remember at the beginning of the episode, it was like he got Jennifer Holland's character basically sets him up and takes him down, and then he gets a beating of a lifetime. And I'm just like,
Emotionally and physically. Yeah.
Yeah, he got emotionally, physically, all of that, and I'm just like, yeah, I really think when it comes down to episodes 6 and 7, it'd be really interesting to see how the impact of the new universe would be.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how once we get towards the end of the season, how much necessary we needed these past 2 episodes. Because again,
Mhm.
I've said that like the first 2 episodes are just such a like a ascendance that like, and I'm not saying to dip down. I'm just saying that like it hasn't gotten better since episode 3, in my opinion, a whole of an episode. But it is still carrying the stakes emotionally for characters more than plot convenience. And I think that also leads up to, I don't know how you boys feel about it, but as soon as Rick Flag Sr. calmed himself down and was like, all right, we got let go of Chris, but and then how Sacha Bordeaux walks in and be like, sir, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And him explain his long game plan
Mhm.
and how she's cool with it. And I don't know about y'all, but I saw this shot first, and she gets closer, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and complimentary of him, of like impressive, and him, doing his flags swagger, being like, "Call me Rick," and her smile.
Yeah.
Are we? Is Cena gonna go for another lady in the DC universe this far? Like first it was
I
Commandos,
think so. I
now
think
this
I,
one. Like, is this what's
I,
happening?
I think he
I
is,
think
but I
so.
definitely feel she is playing him more than he is trying to
Mhm.
play her. Absolutely. There was one shot of her, she looks at him, and there was this moment of like, oh yeah, what are you
Got
up
him.
to? They could read it right in your face. It was perfect. It was a
Yeah.
perfect moment of acting from just facial expression on her part, where it was like, I am playing you, you are not playing me. And that was it. So I'm like, I want to see what the ball is that's going to drop from all this, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the man gets around, man. I'm just like thinking, man, you're getting around too much.
Yeah.
I literally was just like, I was like, God damn it, the flags are just swinging dicks, man. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
they are, aren't they?
I was just like,
They
and
are.
even like,
But
I think
wait,
it was Brandon who like asked
yeah,
him, was like, what is it? Like that's the flags. We love him like
right.
crazy and beautiful.
But at the same time, you got to consider the fact that I think both Chris and Amelia, they both addressed him as Sir, and there's this element in there of respect for him, no matter who they are, and you know that Amelia would never have, I feel like Amelia wouldn't have a shot at Rick Flag for some reason, at this point.
I was worried, dude, because when he went to
Yeah.
visit her, he kept
Yeah.
saying, "I told you to,
Oh, I
call
think
me
he was
Rick."
trying to hit on her, but
And
I
it was
feel
like,
yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? I was like,
yeah, no.
But yeah,
She,
I couldn't believe it when I saw it playing. I was like, I literally was
Mhm.
like, oh, not again. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, like,
yeah.
I don't know if you read what happened after Commandos, but like that princess turned out to be that cool
Yeah.
of a person.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really hope that she has her own plans. I hope it's not a man. If she's working for Waller, that'll be a whole nother thing. Much like
That could
in
be
the Suicide
too.
Squad, where like
Yeah.
Rick Flag, Junior, got taken down by Chris Smith. He's like, oh, Waller's always got a backup plan, and then Cena be like, oh, I should have known Waller had a backup plan
Mhm.
in motion here.
You're right. She's in it for the internalness of the story. Then I feel like
Yeah.
she might be the internal Waller backup plan for sure. You're right. That makes sense. Definitely.
Jeffrey
Over say
says,
someone like Lex or someone like that. Yeah.
yeah. Jeffrey says fireworks were flying. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Oh, what if she's working for Waller who would know Batman? Maybe Bruce put her there for Waller. Yeah, it would be like a recommendation. Like, all right, she was.
So she'd be a triple agent.
that would be a swing.
That's a deep
and
cut.
That would be really like, all right, you want to
Uh-huh.
play that type of game? Okay, that's worthy of hiding.
But
go ahead, Brent.
I was going to say, just considering the DC universe in general, but I mean, I remember from the Superman animated series when Lex Luthor got, hit in the back by Brainiac, and then in the Justice League, it turns out that Brainiac, for all these years, had implanted himself deep inside of Lex Luthor, and those are the kind of long-term, deep-cut stories that I'm hoping that James Gunn will pull from, because there were so many cool moments where my mind was blown in those animated shows, from the Batman animated series to the Superman to, Justice League, that were deep cut stories that you didn't have to necessarily follow, but existed. And so I'm kind of like, I'm hoping that we do get some of those in mind, especially since, Clayface is pulling directly, well, more or less directly from the Batman animated series version of Clayface. Although I am also reading that some people are saying that might be an Elseworld story, but I don't think so. I feel like, or prequel to, that's what I thought. Anyway, so I don't know. So
I don't know. I think there's plenty of stuff to do, and again, you don't have to like bring in casting thus far yet. Just something simple as a reference to let you know how built in the universe is.
Yeah.
That way, we have some. For us creators, we have something to do. I'll be like, all right, this name was mentioned.
Yeah.
This is a connection to.
He's not going to be totally blind to it. Just for us. Yeah.
Speaking of blinding and how much that hit visually, seeing Chris, in essence, really like committing, be like saying goodbye to his whole life, taking Eagly with him. I don't know about y'all, like it was very like sad to see him be happy, and not in a messed up way. I'm glad that he's found some happiness in his life that he's really like wanted his whole life, but it's like that it's not fully earned, and that there might be repercussions for it, and you see how. Although this is an emotional scene, seeing Adrian and Leota being like, "Oh my gosh, he actually did it."
Yeah,
it would have been nice if we'd have spent more time with Adrian throughout the season instead of him hearing his animal trivia and stuff to like fully feel that.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like this has the repercussions in the next three weeks, and there's something about seeing him with his family, and now with Eagly as a sidekick.
Oh yeah,
that is
so
like,
cool.
Oh man.
And also, I don't have the shot with me, but seeing Emilia sit down and like hear them take in his words from the letter, it was just fat. It was just like sad to see the elementary kids in that way. How did you guys feel about that those closing moments of this episode? Because I've heard people say that this felt like a finale.
It definitely felt like a finale, but also at the same time, you got to feel for the 11th Street kids that were like, Chris has just gone over to the other side and basically said, forget about this. I haven't got anything to do, and I'm not going to get redemption in this universe, so to say, after everything that's happened. And I personally think, going to episode 6, I think Judo Master, he's going to get exploded.
You think he's going to die?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Or are you, Brent? Who's biting it? If someone's going to die, who do you think is going to get?
If someone's going to die, I think it's going to be... I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're too early to really tell.
Judging?
I think Agee is going to die in this universe, his father, again. I feel like Robert Patrick is this really incredible performing actor. He's incredible to watch, but I don't think that his character is meant to live in any universe, quite frankly. But that is also a great, because we see it in season 1 where there's this haunting element to Peacemaker when he's sitting there and he has this, it's not a ghost image, obviously, but it's like, his his father comes back in the dream. Or I can't remember the specifics, but you have that moment there that act that you can bring him back continuously to be constantly hounding and taunting and haunting Chris until he finally gets over that. So I feel like Augie might be the one that they will kill off again. I don't think we're going to lose a major character. If we do, it might be. I mean, we already lost technically Michael Rooker, so. But then again, the days are still young. I think Langston might be the possibility of dying, but everybody loves his character, and I think that's the reason why. You love a character, and you get to love a character so much that for them to die is a loss, even though they're not one of the main 3 or 4 characters that are the leads. He's a secondary character still, and I feel like it'll be a secondary character that we will lose. I don't think we're going to lose any of the 5 major leads at this point. I feel like there's too many other stories to be told to kill them this early on in the story arcs. And I don't think that their alternate universe doppelgangers are important enough to necessarily bring into the fold. I mean, at the most, we might see Adrian's, altered persona as a gag, but I don't think that anyone would die. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and I think someone early on in the stream had said something about Adrian, about something that made it lit up. That I did see a little bit of footage that.
Did you see the scenes for next week's episode?
The trailer, a little bit.
Yeah.
Of it. Yeah. And I think that's what someone was saying, that like I think they saw that we were going to Adrian's like home, in the next episode, or like something like that.
There is an interior. Yes. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
I've got a theory about. Well, I think that's his home in the current universe. It's not.
There we go.
Yeah,
there was a scene in the trailer where they go to Adrian's house. They're like, all right.
Yeah.
I listen. And Jeffrey, we'll you said it. You were the one who said it. We'll talk about the whole Batman stuff that you mentioned later on when we go to like the future of the next 3 weeks and the DCU. Yeah. But I'm really thinking that like next week they might crack the code of how to get in to the universe. Or do you guys feel like they're gonna hold that off until the last 2 episodes?
I saw the trailer gave too much away. So I know I pretty much feel like what next episode is going to be a flow of getting the characters together again very quickly.
Yeah. I feel like that. I hope it's long. What were you saying, Talati?
I was gonna say I agree with Brent here. Like I think when it comes down to it, I think they just gave a little bit too much away for the next episode.
Yeah.
I think they should have held it back a little bit. Maybe just made like a 15-second clip of the next.
Yeah, the 30-second trailer was a lot.
Yeah, they should have made it 15 seconds. So
we'll see. I think that here's the thing. More thing, I have a feeling it's gonna deliver, but my only like scare is that next week, after that hour of an episode dropping, the very first thing people are gonna be talking about is either what's gonna come out of that episode, but also did it meet the expectation and the build up that James Gunn has been setting on of like, this is my favorite thing I've done thus far, and it's just like. And there's a reason why I haven't shown it to even the members of the press. And it's just like, I really hope that like there's a balance where like, all right, it was met, and now we can just hone in on the story and what this will go onward.
I've got to say that there are times with James Gunn, and again, amazing director, knows his shit, does his research. But there are times that I have to question him as the head of the studio. What is it that I am pushing, even though I know it could be mediocre or not as strong? And The Flash is that perfect example. The movie of The Flash. He really pushed it. And he did as a professional head of the studio. He had no choice. He had to push that, despite whatever he thought of it. I have no idea what he thought of it personally, but he had to put the happy face on that film. But that also then has a rebound of your audience who see him being interviewed about, this is the best thing I've ever done, or this is the best thing that we've seen, or this is incredible. It's coming, and it does have a payback. It does have a reaction if it's not really in that realm. And you're never going to please everyone 100% of the time. That's never a thing. But it is nice to build up the hype about something, and he does that well. But it depends on how hard the crash is on everybody who takes into the hype. So whenever stuff is said, I now, as I'm getting older, I try to less hype myself up about what I think it's going to be and how incredible it's going to be, because it can lead to that letdown to people, and then it becomes a problem. But people these days tend to want to believe the hype and take it in. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's all I say. So go in with an open mind with what James says. James is an incredible filmmaker, and if he's proud of his work and says that this is the best stuff that he has done in episodes 6 and 8, as he has mentioned in the comments and stuff like that, in his interviews, then he truly does believe that. It's not a lie. It's not a piece of propaganda that he's trying to push. He believes he really has done that. Whether that lives up to the expectation to the audience is yet to be seen. So I will take what he says not with a grain of salt, but with caution. And I will go in looking at all the aspects. And those aspects are going to be, what is it that I get from each of these characters in this particular episode? Do I see an emotional growth of these characters? Or is it just a full-on fight sequence that's the best thing he's ever done? And if that becomes the case, then it's like you can come out of it for 5 minutes and go, wow, that was an incredible fight scene that we saw in this episode. Then you think about it, it's like, well, what did I really get out of it? I didn't get any emotional growth. I didn't get any emotional attachment. I didn't see any development happen. And those are the things that usually will see something hype up and then drop down. But if you watch something that has got both in really great proportions, then it is going to only make you walk away and keep amplifying the fact that what you saw works in all these levels, and as the audience member. And that's what I hope to see from the episodes that he's put together there.
Yeah, Hero Journey, this is what worries me. I don't need it to be 10 out of 10. I really don't need it to be 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
What I need it to be is that, like, I don't start smelling or feeling plot creep in more than character motivations and dynamics. If you really needed to hide it from the press, make it something that either is addressed and then get out of the way, or if it's going to be eye candy, make sure it's eye protein. So if you're going to bring in big names, if you're going to do other stuff, make sure it's a
justified.
Necessary reason why that you bring it in, and then just something cool that, like, in 5 years from now, people will be like, oh yeah, they did mention or brought that character in that episode of that one TV show that I probably wasn't watching, or probably was watching, and that by now I don't remember. Like, it's like, make sure it's a foundational thing that was worthy of keeping away from the press, because sadly some stuff, even with press outlets having times where they can't, let their reviews out, embargoes, that stuff does start leaking out.
I understand that too.
That happens, So, like, I hope that, again, I'm not needing it to be 10 out of 10, but make it good enough where I'm like, okay, I get why you wanted to hold this close to the chest. Because hell, even if it's an emotional scene, if there's no big DC characters, it's just an emotional scene, and you wanted to hide that for everybody as soon as possible, that's a good move to pull that. But I do want to bring up the notion, and well, before we go into that, tell how do you feel about that? Do you feel like it has to be a 10 out of 10 episode, or do you feel like there's something more to do with the expectations that are being brought about now? Because, again, even Jeffrey says here that, like, he also talks too much on social media, and sometimes it goes too far with his jokes that I think is funny, but sometimes it's not. Which is, again, that's taste.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think this episode, I think it's probably a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. Right?
Mm.
I don't think it was perfect, and I don't think it was,
The
bad.
worst thing ever. Yeah.
It was in between, and I
Yeah,
really
I agree.
think that I just think it's going to lead into the next. I think
Yeah.
the next 3 episodes are going to be really bangers, so top
Yeah.
notch. So
I think I'll say this because someone did ask him on threads of like, can we expect Charlton Comics characters come up in the DCU later on down the line? And for those who don't know, Charlton Comics was a publishing house that later got bought by DC, and the
Right.
characters that were built in them got integrated to the DC universe. Folks like Captain Atom, Blue Beetle, Question, those people are the ones that.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to say this. My money, and again, I'm trying to set my expectations, is that my money is that we're probably going to get somebody like the Question. If we're going to get a
That'd be
big
cool.
character like that, we might get the Question later on because his hometown was referenced in Creature Commandos. And I
Okay.
remember freaking the fuck out. I'm like, that is a connection to the Question. That can't be a coincidental thing. That's not just a wink to the audience one now. Like, I feel like that's something that might be
Sure.
a card in their an ace up their sleeves down the line.
That's cool.
And again, that's a character you can do so much with in your universe.
mm,
And especially if you really want to go like full quality it, get people like Dan Gilroy or folks who work on Andor and get them to write Question, because there's so much you could do with the character of a Question in how one seeks the truth and how that plays out in the verse. You could say that reflects what's happening in our world right now. You could say how that even reflects with folks in the DC universe of like, I'm telling you, like, again, something as simple as Chris telling, like, yes, I killed their son, but every day I have to live with that notion. And it's not something that I'm proud of. It's something that, like, I have full on regret. And if I could take it back, I would. But also, it's something he can tell Senior, be like, because of what happened, your son, in essence, gave me a shot at being a better person. And like, if that's not giving your life for your country or for your fellow man, I don't know what is. And again, something like that could be a good interpretation to do down the line. Do you guys have I don't know, do you have expectation? But what's something in the DC universe, whether it be in the next 3 weeks?
Booster Gold. I want to see Booster Gold.
I love that in your face, and you're like, I know what you're talking about.
I wanted to be Kamal. I wanted to be Kamal. I can never pronounce his last name. Yeah, I wanted to be him so badly because he is also an incredible, fine actor and very funny, and I think that would suit his role. And he's friends with James anyway, so it's like you've got that they're in that same group. So he would be awesome to see as Booster Gold, and I hope rumors are true because there's a lot of people rumor. I think it's fan rumors, but I feel like that if we're going to see something like that, I also like to see. I really would like to see. Again, I forgot the actor's name who played Blue Beetle, but he was
Cholo Maridueña.
Fantastic. He was. I loved him in the film of the Blue Beetle. I thought it was, there were elements that worked and elements that didn't work. I've said this before. The elements that work with the family structure that they created in that film. So as long as that exists and he exists in this universe, as James Gunn has said, I feel comfortable. This would be a good time for him to suddenly appear. I still don't know if these characters need to appear, though. That's the other thing. We're dealing with a parallel universe now, and I feel like we're going to just be in that universe for the last 3 episodes. So the question is, are we going to be getting which version of those characters? It makes no sense to have any foreign elements in the superhero universe in this world. I could be wrong. They might not play it that way. Who knows how they're going to play this? Which means it would have to be in this current universe. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that Peacemaker has to get himself out of the mess that he's got into, and saying that being he's now stuck in this other world, he's going to have his friends go in to hopefully rescue him and convince him and pull him out. That's my guess. And in the journey of that, there's going to be a harshness of trying to escape from that world because of other people of color in the group. that is going to be, or color and backgrounds and everything like that. So I feel like that little story is key. But then again, can that play for 3 episodes, or does something change at the end of next week's episode that they do get out and something? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we will be tying off the story arc of let's just say it as World X or whatever it is that they're in now. I feel like they're going to tie off that story at the end of the season or by the end of the season, but we don't know. I mean, James has said these last 3 episodes also don't feel like that they are part of the first 5 episodes, that they are their own separate story. So I'm curious to know what that means.
TBD, definitely TBD.
Yeah.
What about you, Claudia?
I think I agree with Brent.
Yeah.
It's to be determined on what characters we get. But honestly, I would like to see a Bat family member to be in this.
Who are you thinking?
Interesting.
I would like to see someone, not someone major like Nightwing, Red Hood, or Robin, but someone like really small, like, that is not a major character, right? That makes a cameo appearance, like Spoiler, or the Question. Not Question. Sorry. What's the other one? I forgot her name now. Cassandra Cain. Like I would like to see the Batgirl.
Right. That could be interesting. Yeah.
It's just like a 5-minute cameo, or a small little 5-second cameo of her in the shadows. Yeah, like
I mean, I don't know. They mentioned Bloodhaven. They did, somebody, Leota's ex. They said they were going back to Gotham, and it's just like there's a lot of breadcrumbs in there to be like, we've been hinting at it from the get-go of like Gotham related stuff. Like, why wouldn't we go lean in there if we're not putting that in just for the sake of it?
Yeah,
I'm there to see how the hell.
Maybe it's someone from Apocalypse. I don't know.
If Mr. Miracle or Orion or Big Barda show up, I will flip out. I would literally like flip my table. Camera will go down. I'm like, or go what?
Or Animal Man.
All right, no, come on now. You know me. If fucking Animal Man shows up, I will literally like start like blowing up everybody's social medias and tagging y'all. I'm like, yo, get on. Like, if you're not watching the show, get on it right now before you start getting spoiled. You need to watch it. I need to talk to somebody about it.
Sorry, who?
Exactly.
I don't know that character.
So Alan is another fascinating, weird character that, like, again, isn't well known, but has one of the best runs in comics, in my opinion. Cool. He's a character that eventually down the line breaks the fourth wall.
Right.
And let's just say that, like, because of what he's doing with his first chapter, Gods and Monsters, he would be an interesting element to bring in to that concept of a chapter, in my opinion, of Gods and Monsters.
Oh, I know who I want to see.
What do you want to see?
Mark Hamill's the Trickster.
Dude, if he's in that other dimension and then they brought him back with that 90s costume, I'd be like, holy shit.
That would be the third time. I doubt it very much. I
got a good one. I got a good one.
Yeah.
Jack Ryder's the Creeper.
That's another Charlton Comics character that
the Creeper. Sorry, who is the name?
Jack Ryder.
Who's the actor? Jack Ryder. Oh, that's the character.
That's his government name.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you meant an actor. Sorry.
No.
The Creeper would be cool. The Creeper would be very deep.
Again, another Steve Ditko creation. Yeah. So
I'm going to assume. Oh, sorry.
Go on, please.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did tie something in to hype up. I think the reason they're keeping a show secret right now that they're about to start shooting, or movie or whatever it is that if they do drop a sudden drop into this show, it would tie in with the release of them saying we're about to announce this new show based on this actor who plays this character that you suddenly see at the end of Peacemaker, who turns up for a few minutes. So I feel like that there is a little bit of that anticipation it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
If they bring in a new character, it's a big character, and by the next morning, the next 24 hours, 48 hours, they announce, oh yeah, we're doing a movie or a series with them.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. And they're just like,
I think
that
that's where
weekend-
we're going in 3 weeks'
Yeah.
time. They'll drop something or not name drop. They would have to show somebody that they've already cast because they are going into production next month. So it means that they could very easily have done a pickup shot and dropped it in the end of Peacemaker if they decide to, do something like that.
Yeah.
You know what's
Speaking of
also
production, go ahead, Delay.
You know what's also interesting? James never did the podcast episode this week.
Oh, really?
Well, I thought he did with Michael Rooker. Did he not?
I don't think he did. I think
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But I did see something come up on my feed that like
I haven't had the
Michael Rooker
chance to
talking
watch
to them.
any podcasts yet. I need to.
I know he said he missed last week's watch party, I believe, of this new episode. I know that, but I could be wrong.
It might have been the watch party, not the podcast episode. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. But speaking of podcasting, he just heard his cue. Another member of our own 11th Street Kids gang just showed up. That's Darren.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Darren.
You had like
Darren.
5 transitions for me. That didn't work.
It's
The hat
okay.
man.
I'm sorry. We kept you from appearing.
No,
I
totally
love-
fine.
That's what I love about. I hope people who watch this that like if a convo is good or if somebody has something to bring up, that's fine. We'll keep it going. Eventually, I'll have to be like, all right, we gotta get someone in because I want to hear what they feel.
Darren's been sitting there for 25 minutes, guys. 25
No, you
minutes.
guys are good. I've been down in this Klondike, so I was chill. You guys are good.
But yes, Darren, you have entered the building. Episode 5. How you feel?
Oh, I'm close now. Nice.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's been the vibe at this stream so far? Are we really loving it, or are we kind of not as into it? Because I don't want to down.
I'm enjoying it all.
No, please,
Okay.
dude. No. Okay, before you go, please express yourself. Don't worry about how we feel about it. Like I think that the best part about these streams and other streams that I've seen is like everybody has their own thoughts to it.
Yeah.
And yet we can all admit that the show isn't over yet, the season isn't over yet, and a lot of stuff can still shift. I've said that like this episode I think is better than last week's episode, but they still haven't reached the heights that episodes 1, 2, and 3 led up to that point.
I think it's solid. I think it's okay. I think that's been kind of my feeling for the last 2. It's like it's not bad. It's not like I'm not like, what are they doing? This is a travesty. I've seen a lot of travesties over in the DC TV department, right? But like, I think I said it somewhere last week, and now I feel it even more now that I've seen this episode. Episode 4 and 5 should have been one episode, is how I feel. I think they should have trimmed a lot of the fat that maybe didn't quite work for me, potentially even an entire character, depending on if they come back or not, and combine these two, because it does, and I don't know if you guys have talked about this or not, the momentum has really fallen for me. Like, I thought they had a really good momentum, 1, 2, 3, and now it kind of like tripped a little bit in 4, and I felt like it hasn't quite gotten back up in 5, and I'm really excited starting next week, because next week is what we've been waiting for. This is their, like, apparently James Gunn's grand opus. He said 6 and 8 is his favorite thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
That's an insane quote. That's a bonkers quote. When you've done the Guardians trilogy and you just came out with Superman, which some people have said is the best superhero movie of all time. I don't quite agree, but some people have said that. You come with like, the Suicide Squad, which arguably sent DC in an entirely new direction, as much people like. Like, that's a crazy quote. So I guess my just general opinion is like, I think it's solid. I think it's okay. I need them to really pick up the ball starting next week, though.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think that, I think that if you really, and we brought up that, like, if he's teasing a lot of these next few episodes, they have to be worth it, and not only be worth it, but they have to also not just have eye candy or bits to get the yucks and the click click feed that's going to be blowing up their stuff present. It's got to be something that like, all right, this was worth spending 8 weeks following these characters again, whether you follow the season 1 or we're into it to the season, like the way Talade was entered in this season. And I again, I think what keeps these past episodes going is that like there are moments that I'm like, all right, I'm glad we're spending time with these characters, like Emilia's interaction with John Economos, or the blow up that Chris has been getting himself in between what his talk with Emilia was, or his first fight, confrontation with Senior, and how that fight went down. And I really hope that like, and again, I think it was Jeffrey who probably brought up about the whole balancing out emotional stuff. Yeah, James Gunn is really good at emotional stuff, but I think sometimes he lets his jokes fall up with stuff that are supposed to be serious. Yeah, that's where like, if you wanted to get some of the yucks out of the way in the beginning, kudos.
Yeah.
And not that I'm saying that like I don't want to hear a fucking joke, and I'm not saying that. It's just like I hope that if we're really gonna put the chips down on the wire, don't wait for a laughter reaction. If there's a sad moment, genuine sad moment, which I'm hoping for because how much emotional I've been connecting with this season, stay with it. Let me feel that emotional sadness. Again, out of the trailers and stuff they've been hinting at right now, I have a feeling that maybe at first, best dimension ever vibes with Chris's family is not going to go well with his Elementary Kids dynamics at first glance. Again, there's shots I'm already connecting of like, yo, what does this mean? Why is he putting, why is this happening? And if it feels awkward for the audience to be watching these two dimensions collide, if it feels sad, emotional, rewarding, good. Let us stay with that moment. That means that you trust the audience to not need something to like undercut an emotion. It means that like you stand by sadness. It means you stand by growth. It means you stand by sacrifice. It means you stand by stakes. It means that you're not, not leaning into something just to get quick views or quick reactions, or to be or to seek any immediate relevance. No. Right. It means that the material you've taken out of your time to write, to develop, at the same time you're developing up 2 other projects, was worth spending time and worth putting out, and worth, I'm gonna say rushing because I don't think he want to hit this way, but worth moving up release dates of other projects to focus in on this, and the fact that you're putting out a weekly podcast and a weekly watch party. Like, again, trust the audience. Don't shy away from emotional, dramatic stuff. Let that be earnest, and let us feel that. I feel is my take on that.
Yeah.
There is also this element, though, that there needs to be a calm before the storm. These last 2 weeks have been the calm before the storm.
Sure.
If you hype up every episode and you get to the end and the episodes are at the same level as the mid episodes,
right,
the middle of the show episodes, then it can be a little anticlimactic.
Yes.
So you do have to take this high at the beginning, a little dip, and then to get higher at the end. And I can see that playing out. And I agree, in the sense of what Darren was saying there too. And Taladia, both of you were saying, it was not the favorite episodes. And as I said, I enjoy all of what they've been doing as an overall whole. As an individual episode, they definitely were not the most exciting. I agree. But there was character-driven stuff that was going on, that was important to happen and had to happen before we get to where we go to next, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So we'll wait to see how next goes from there.
Speaking of happening and what's happening, I want everybody to go around and circle right now and give me your favorite moment of the episode. Again, besides how you felt about the episode as a whole, there's got to be in a moment that you're like, okay, they did good in this and this time that we were with these characters.
Me first? Oh.
Yeah, let's start with you.
Okay.
You go first.
Eagly, I thought the stuff between when Red was facing down with Eagly, not just was just entertaining and fun, but it also kind of I love the comment that Economist made last week. There was a second bird that came down and hit you out of the blue, which never happened, and you actually got the second eagle that came down out of the blue. Because the whole thing about Red in last week's episode was like they never work in packs. They're all individuals. The eagles don't work like that, and so that kind of drove an interesting thing. But on top of that, saying that, you have to remember that every single eagle that they put into that scene was all visual effects. And kudos to the visual effects team, because I think there's very few shots of Eagly that I've seen that are like that don't look incredibly detailed. I think they've done some incredible work with the visual effects on that one, creature. I feel a little kind of cut short that we didn't get to see a kaiju battle at the end there, but we've already seen one in Superman anyway. But I would like to have seen a bit of a kaiju battle.
That was really fun. That was a nice parallel.
Yeah, I was. So I give them credit. They put their money and their budget into Eagly and that whole sequence there, because it also set a new development element of what is this bird exactly. Because now we have set up something that is bigger than just an eagle, that is a pet and a friend, and it's paying itself off as another story down the line. I'm hoping. So that was a moment for me. I was like, yeah, this is cool.
All right. Yeah. Taladia, what about you? What was your favorite moment of the episode?
I gotta say, for me, it has to be Eagly as well. Eagly assemble, as they say, right? Right? He assembles all the eagles around him, and the alpha male comes in and takes down Red. And I'm just like, the budget for that was like, yeah, I can see why James Gunn used Eagly in this episode really well.
Yeah.
And I gotta say as well, what makes it more interesting is the visual effects when they did the Eagly, what's it called, that purple thing around him.
Oh, the light up of him being like the be all ultimate ego and that. Yeah.
I was just like, wow, and that's pretty awesome, right? And what I find interesting is like all the birds swooping in, tearing him apart, and I'm just like, I wonder how they did that. I was like thinking how they did that, but it's still cool to see. But that's my favorite moment of the episode. But Darren, you take the charge, my friend.
Darren,
I must be the biggest hater. I didn't like the Eagly.
Really?
I came out and I was like, "Oh, it's so stupid." But like now, I feel bad about it because I'm like, "Oh, do people love this? Oh my gosh!" Okay, I get it. All right.
I think there's a spiritual element of what was being developed there and designed and magic and possibly magic. Yeah. So I think that's why
maybe
it leaves me curious.
Maybe I just wasn't I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't expecting, because it does come out of like nowhere. It's like,
yes.
Oh fuck! Okay. He is the ultimate ego.
He really is. That was what was great about it, I thought. Anyway, this is my pick.
Yeah, and then also probably just because I haven't been a huge fan of that in particular character that's connected to it, so it's just so I'm probably jaded from the start of it. My favorite, I do just love the friendship element. I think of this episode a lot. I like that scene towards the end when they're reading the notes and they're all sad and depressed, and I think that exact scene, Vigilante's best scene of the season. I got kind of a little emotional during that scene. I was like, man, okay, I do genuinely really like their friendship, and I like that. Adebayo has kind of been our team leader this season. Typically it would be Chris or Hardcore, or the guy we had last season. I don't remember his name. The guy's that's in Guardians. But she's really stepped up, and she's kind of our cheerleader of the season. She's the one kind of gathering the troops. And there's that scene when she first reads the note, she's like, no, fuck, and she has that scene. I was like, oh no, what happened? I love that friendship that they've been telling this season. I think that's been just the overall highlight, is seeing their bond and seeing. I'm a big sucker for a found family story, and this is kind of, arguably that's kind of Gunn's bread and butter at this point. Just these outcasts, the people that come together. I like that stuff, and I also liked, I think, the Hardcore and Chris stuff earlier on in the episode, and I was so relieved that it wasn't like I was so disappointed in her. I was like, damn, she really just, betrayed the whole group, and she does ultimately do what's best for I think everyone. Where it's like kind of meeting in the middle. I'm betraying you, but I'm also trying to get you out of here before they don't
Long
get you
term,
kind of thing.
yeah.
I kind of sorry. I'm just sorry to cut in. I was going to say
go
I
ahead.
kind of
Yeah,
always
no,
felt
you're good.
that
I'm done.
I felt like that moment that she was setting him up was because she just thought he wasn't going to be stupid enough to turn up, and so in her mind it was a done deal that she could say yes to Rick Flag and say I'm going to do this and be like, oh, I'm sorry he didn't turn up, I don't know why, you must whatever. And he was just stupid enough to turn up to
and I like that he wasn't like, he didn't show up because he didn't know, because he was stupid, because they could have easily wrote it like that. It was like, oh, I just think
he knew it was a trap.
He knew it, and he's like, yes, but I like at this point I kind of don't care if I get trapped. I need to have this conversation with you. And he's also like, he's so confident in himself and in his abilities, which is kind of valid, because he almost does it. Like he almost gets away from the situation, and he is one of the greatest marksmen in the world for a reason, and he was showing that off here, which I thought was like there's a scene where he's like has the person on
I was saying that earlier.
Like,
what is the name of that? Yeah.
Pretty boy or no, pony boy? I can't remember what he was called. Yeah.
He called Tim Meadows shaft. He's like compliments. Okay, it's working. I was telling that like I didn't think watching Peacemaker in civilian clothes with tight pants playing soccer would not be the funniest shit ever. And I just were watching that sequence. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, For me, it's got to be the Flag versus Smith fight, the inevitable clash, and how much a lot of people who hate Chris, even to this day, and we know some who are like, I fuck Peacemaker. Who are like they've been waiting for this moment, and the way this sequence kind of ends, which I didn't expect. I saw like a movement here. Then like, does that mean? I was like, nah, it's not meaning this.
Yeah.
And I told the boys this early on that as soon as I saw this frame, and how I saw this like connection growing, and then you see Flag do a swagger, and Sasha like being approval, I was like, not again, not again with not the princess and Pocola and now Sasha, and then just like this isn't gonna end well.
Have we talked about the like nature of her character yet, like in this episode? And just
we brought up that like
but I want to know your thoughts.
Please talk. Like, what do you think of Sasha Bordeaux and how she's now officially been like, yo, she's cyborg?
Like that was my thought, and I was like, I wonder if a cyborg already exists in this world. Like, if there is just actively androids and robots and things walking around, like
Magneto.
Magneto.
I meant what's his name? not Magneto. I meant
wrong comic.
No, oh my god, what's his name? Shoot.
Mickey Mouse somewhere woke up and like,
go with the kryptonite heart. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Metal Block.
Is it Metallo?
Metallo.
Metallo.
Oh god.
Yeah.
You're in the ballpark.
That's what I meant.
No, that's Darren. I love that you said that, because like if Sasha Bordeaux, if the engineer, and Mr. Terrific exist in this world, it is not a far reach that Victor Stones is somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Playing basketball with Beast Boy or something like that. It is not out of the realm that like that is out there in the cards for us, just waiting for us to get there. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Teen Titans movie apparently in the works. Again, we haven't heard updates on that for a while, but like, it's apparently happening. And I've said for a while, if they do it, they're going to want that. I'd like some of the other characters aren't in that lineup, but like they're going to the like TV show lineup. Like they want that like nostalgia of that 5, and then they'll build off. And I think they'll make Cyborg a bit younger in this continuity. Although I do kind of miss him in the Justice League as well. I actually kind of like when he's both. I actually think that's really funny when he's like playing both teams, and it just depends what day it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey says Magneto.
I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that the Teen Titans are actually teenagers this time around and not fully developed, college people. I feel like that's part of the beauty of those characters.
You need the lineup to be like something like Teen Titans 03.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Although I also sometimes like when it's a bit of both. Like some of those animated movies I think was cool where it was like Dick and Corey are the adults, but they're like the mentors, and then they're teaching the teenagers. I think is kind of a fun, especially if Dick is already Nightwing, and if we're doing Damian, right? It makes sense. Maybe Damian's on the team. Like I could see that working here.
Teenagers with attitude, Darren.
Oh
hey? You know what that?
I'm gonna start wrapping things up with our talk. But before we go, I want to just double check the comments again one last time So if you folks have any thoughts watching this, please comment down below. If you want us to read them out, see what you have thoughts. Jeffrey said a while back, some stuff came out today from Entertainment Weekly about DCU Batman. Very interesting stuff. I think they are cracking the script and looking at actors.
Wouldn't surprise me. I still think we're a few years off though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Him saying that this did feel like a mid-season finale. I agree to that notion.
Sure.
I don't think there will be any cameos next week. I think episode 7 and 8 will have the cameos. Sure. Let's see. What if the JSA Jake would love that they did a Ted? What he's gonna say? What if the JSA? What if we get the JSA? I know Jake would love that because of Ted, and if we get
the bear,
we get Cat. Yeah, the bear. That would literally, that would be one of the things of like, and what's sad now is just like, I know if he gets a message from me like, yo, turn on the TV. It's like, why? Get on HBO. It's like, why? I'm like, just start watching Peacemaker.
I want him to show up just for he can force Jake to
watch the
to watch the whole thing just to see.
Yeah. Let's see. I think this that Eagly, although my favorite part was Eagly, although I don't remember if the Prime Eagle is in the comics. Maybe he's a part of the Red or something. Probably. Dang it, Darren. Why? LOL. Magneto. Yeah. I think someone be subbed out for Wally.
Maybe.
I
mean, I'd love if Wally was there, but we'll see.
Muchachos, thank you so much for taking time out of your nights or days to talk Peacemaker with me. I want everybody to go around the block. We'll start with Darren. Please give out any final thoughts you had on this episode, and please plug yourself. If you have anything coming out in the not too distant future, let the world know. Tell them where to go. Tell them what to watch, and Of
course. No, thank you. It's been great being here the entire time. This is such a good hour and 22. No, you can find me at Darren Sanctuary. I do 2 weekly live streams, kind of similar to this over on my channel. Do After the Credits on Mondays and The Pipeline on Thursdays. Ronan has been on a couple episodes of that himself. Talati at the same thing, so you can go check out those episodes over there. And thanks for having me once again. I thought it was a solid episode. Fine. I'm excited to see where we go moving forward, though.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Claudia?
You guys can check me out at Claudia Plays and at Claudia Plays _ on X. What I got coming up on my channel is tomorrow I'm going to have Dave the Film Junkie on my channel to discuss episodes 1 to 5 of Peacemaker. We'll be discussing spoilers and getting his opinion and his thoughts on the episodes. And also Ronan will be joining us to be the other special guest to kind of chime in a little bit here and there to see the comparison. I want to hear both their comparison. And also I will be uploading my 007 First Light video next week. I was supposed to do this week, but I didn't get the time. But I got next week that'll be uploaded. And then got a special surprise for you coming in the future. So stay tuned.
Nice. Brent?
You can catch me on Age of Grogu on my YouTube channel. I'm also that on Twitter and on Instagram. I have just dropped today the first 3 of 4-part episodes of the Star Wars Rebuilding the Galaxy Lego animated piece, which you'll see me just basically laughing my ass off because I had a lot of fun with it. But then I'm also going to be doing a whole pile of unboxings of some 12-inch figures that I've recently got that I haven't had the chance to either unbox or edit and put together because work has kept me busy. Yeah, that's about it.
Beautiful. Yeah, you can find me here on my channel. I've appeared on all my friends' channels. Although Talati on Saturday, we're gonna make it happen mañana. So Jeffrey says he'll be there. It happens a lot with these shows that we're getting into. That like we're already at the halfway mark. And I thought we just started. It's
3 left,
wild,
and then we're done.
Wild. three episodes left, and then
I'm very interested to see where we're at with these characters now in comparison to what we'll be at the end, and where we'll be with this universe now in comparisons to where we'll be at the end of this season. It's gonna be very interesting vibe going forward, I think, of where we'll be at. But folks, thank you so much for taking the time out of your night and day. Please, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the enthusiasm, let the word out, spread the enthusiasm, share it. And I'll be continuing my coverage of the show and Alien Earth, and then we'll see what comes down later. Yeah, we'll see what comes down later to start covering onwards. But until then, take care and give peace a fucking chance, everybody.